and welcome to the University of Trinidad and Tobago's presentation of graduates for 2020 and 2021. This inaugural event, the first at the university's flagship campus at Tamina, celebrates the achievements of our graduates who have worked hard through many obstacles, including the biggest challenge so far, this pandemic, to achieve their degrees. Let's begin the proceedings by joining in with the singing of the national anthem of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Ms. Melissa Messiah, former president of the Executive UTT Student Guild, will now lead us in the invocation.
Good day, everyone. Can we please bow our heads for our prayer? O Supreme One, origin of all being, we thank you for giving us another day as we gather here to celebrate UTT's presentation of graduate ceremony. Give us a keen understanding of the importance of the role that graduates of UTT, the National University, have in the development of our communities and Trinidad and Tobago by extension. Give us faith, courage, and wisdom to fulfill our purpose and promise as students and graduates of UTT. Show us how to effectively serve you so that all of our education, knowledge, and skills may find true fulfillment as we learn to do your will. May we ever be aware in everything that we do that knowledge comes from learning and wisdom comes from you. Thank you, O Supreme One. Now, let us bow our heads in a moment of silence for those members of the UTT family who have passed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Messiah. And now, the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and Chancellor of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, Her Excellency Paula May Weeks, will declare the ceremony open for the conferment of certificates, diplomas, and degrees.
As Chancellor of the University, I declare the ceremony open for the conferment of certificates, diplomas, and degrees by the authority of the Academic Council and the Board of Governors.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I now invite the Chairman of the Board of Governors of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, Professor Clement Imbert, to address you with some words of welcome.
Good day. Although this is a virtual ceremony and we are not assembled in one place, I need to recognize the following persons. Her Excellency Paula May Weeks, ORTT, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and Chancellor of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, UTT. Members of the Board of Governors of UTT, Professor Prakash Prasad, President of UTT, Senior Academic and Corporate Staff of UTT, members of the Student Guild and other students of UTT, graduates and graduates of 2020 and 2021. family members and friends of our graduates, members of the viewing public. Welcome to the University of Trinidad and Tobago's 2020 and 2021 virtual graduation ceremonies, the first ever for the university. As a most auspicious occasion on the university's calendar, graduation not only recognizes a very significant academic achievement of our students and graduates in their commitment to excellence, it also celebrates the triumphs we have faced amid the ongoing pandemic. We postponed last year's graduation ceremonies 2020, which normally would have taken place in November, in the hope that we could have had live, face-to-face events sometime in 2021. But as time went, this proved to be impossible. We cannot postpone anymore, so we have combined last year's and this year's ceremonies. You have made history in your own way by not only graduating from a prestigious institution within the world of academia, but also by doing so in unprecedented times, in an unprecedented way. While we continue to collectively grapple with this situation into which we were indiscriminately thrust, you have managed to persevere in the face of adversity, the kind which has not been witnessed for 100 years. UTT was literally forced to go online overnight, a transition we successfully managed with aplomb. And your adaptation and level of determination cannot go unnoticed, as this was no mean feat. The COVID-19 pandemic has taught us to be resilient in the presence of struggle. It is expected that this experience will assist in strengthening your capacity for championing continuous development in your community and by extension, our country, a customary feature of the UTT graduate. In spite of the impact of the pandemic, I have no doubt of the quality of the many opportunities to which you were exposed as a student at UTT. Learning under the watchful eyes of world-class faculty, embedded in each of you, the ability to think critically, a quality necessary to spearhead the much-needed transformational change in our society. I encourage you to ensure this skill does not wither, but to allow it to manifest into a continued drive for success. Now in our 18th year, UTT has strived from inception to fulfill its mandate of contributing to the growth and entrepreneurial spirit in Trinidad and Tobago. Through its particular approach to pedagogy across all disciplines, UTT has played a role in revolutionizing not only the way its students learn, but also the way in which this knowledge is then applied in the real world. Despite the pandemic, UTT has graduated about 1,700 students each year in 2020 and 2021, giving a total of well over 22,000 students since our inception. Our students, staff, and the university have continued to attain great heights. They have excelled over the years, and the last 2 years have been no exception. A few examples from 2020 and 2021 would suffice. Both UTT Patriots men and women football teams qualified to represent Trinidad and Tobago at the International University Sports Federation playoffs in Mexico in 2022. UTT's student team won the first iGov hackathon, and Pradesh Budu Singh, BSc Utilities, won the UK Institution of Engineering and Technology International Student Prize in 2020. And Vanessa Bhagwat, a diploma student no less, made it the second time in a row in 2021. A diploma student winning a prize open to undergraduate students internationally. That is a most remarkable feat. These achievements say a lot about our students and the UTT programs. On staff, Dr. Miguel Jagasa was awarded a U.S. patent for his invention of the therapeutic exercise contour support. Drs. Umesh Prasad and Jorel Bisnath are collaborating with other parties to create the roll-up digital steel pad, a portable and easily stored instrument for practice. Imran Jan, Senior Sports Officer, was appointed head coach of the CPL Knight Riders, and Dr. Marcus Ramdawa was awarded a research grant from the U.S. Animal and Plant Health Inspection Services for his project Safeguarding Caribbean Food Security from the Threat of the Giant African Snail. Not to leave out our Board of Governors, Professor Hollis Liverpool, the mighty Chalkdust, was bestowed the Order of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the country's highest award. A UTT team implemented the Proficiency Diagnostic Assessment, the PDA, an assessment tool for CSEC students to determine and improve proficiency in English and math. UTT Outreach, in collaboration with Atlantic LNG, garnered Best Social Investment Project for Corporate Social Responsibility in the Energy Industry. UTT has signed several MOUs with public and private partners locally and internationally, including our own University of the West Indies in St. Augustine. In particular, UTT has been collaborating with UWI over the past 2 years in the area of carbon capture and storage and CO2-enhanced oil recovery. The Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries has granted UTT and UWI almost $1 million TT each to develop a storage atlas for heritage fields, and BPTT has committed to provide UTT and UWI with $50,000 each for a storage atlas for selected fields in the Columbus Basin. UTT is also partnering with the NGC Group in projects in climate change mitigation and with NewGen Energy for research in the production of green hydrogen. UTT got a grant of about $6 million TT from the IDB for training and capacity building for the UTT Animation Hub. UTT is always looking to offer new programs in areas of national and regional importance. For example, UTT's MSc in Energy Engineering with a specialization in renewable energy was introduced in January 2021 and attracted about 50 students. A regional online master's in public health is in the pipeline for launch and will be coupled with the existing master's in health administration as a dual degree program. And UTT has played its part in the COVID-19 pandemic. A diploma in respiratory therapy started in September 2021 with 20 students. And Dr. Nicole Ramlachan, a geneticist on UTT staff, has been a key figure in public dissemination of information on COVID-19 and related issues. The university is proud to have graduates who contribute in the national context. However, they possess skills garnered from an internationally recognized education. I urge you as graduates to engender a proclivity for not only personal growth, but an affinity for national pride, as this is currently needed more than ever. This attribute has emerged as a priority as traditional work transforms due to technological advances and, of course, the current pandemic, from which we have learned so much. With a deceleration in world trade, there is an even more profound need for self-sustainability, an ideology long supported by the National University, the University of Trinidad and Tobago. In this regard, we encourage you to be our inventors, our agro-processors, our designers, our farmers, etc., to be the ones who rise to new challenges in the pursuit of being self-reliant. In closing, I join with the Chancellor, members of the Board of Governors, the wider university community, your families, friends, and well-wishers in extending heartfelt congratulations to the graduation classes of 2020 and 2021. May you use your moment in time to acknowledge this momentous occasion, to appreciate all those who have helped you on this journey, and continue onward on your journey to excellence. God bless you and thank you.
The University of Trinidad and Tobago not only recognizes the success of its students, but also honors national luminaries in their respective fields. So it is fitting that at this time, we acknowledge the university's 2020 honorees.
Mr. Edward Hart, Honorary Doctor of Humane Letters. Mr. Lincoln Phillips, Honorary Doctor of Humane Letters. Mr. John Sejagat, Honorary Doctor of Sciences. Mr. L. Anthony Watkins, Honorary Doctor of Laws.
I now invite Dr. L. Anthony Watkins to deliver his remarks.
Your Excellency, Ms. Paula May Weeks, ORTT, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and Chancellor of UTT, Professor Prakash Prasad, President, UTT, Senior Academic and Corporate Staff of UTT, members of the Student Guild and other students of UTT, graduates of 2020 and 2021, family members and friends, members of the media, members of the viewing public, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a grand day, and I am certain that you feel a justifiable sense of pride and accomplishment. And I congratulate you for your efforts, commitment, dedication, and achievements. A sense of unease, dissatisfaction, and unmet needs can be powerful triggers for action. Somewhere in your past, you felt a need to learn, to achieve, to be accredited with an academic qualification. Today, that need has been satisfied. You have achieved and arrived at your mountaintop. Bear in mind, though, that a satisfied need is not a motivator of behavior. So where do you go from here? What is your next unfulfilled desire? Your next unmet need? The next thing that will spur you onto action? I recall with fondness and a persistent sense of delight an encounter that I had with my social psychology professor, John Arrowwood, at the University of Toronto in 1969. As a second-year student, things happened, and I had not been to classes for a couple of weeks. And I happened to bump into Professor Arrowwood one day, and he said to me, "Well, Watkins, I haven't seen you at class for a couple of weeks." I stammered, stuttered, and said to him, "Well, Prof, I have a couple assignments, some research papers that I was doing, and I was really sort of in the library working at that." And he smiled at me and said, Watkins, maybe you're right. One ought not to let one's classes get in the way of one's education." I was stunned. And 52 years later, I still remember that. I have never forgotten it. How will you envision and approach your education? Past cannot know past. Future cannot create future. What you have, what each one of us has, is a now in which to reflect, to decide, and to act. How you climb a mountain is more important than reaching the top. Robert Pirsig, in his groundbreaking novel Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, shares the following. Mountains should be climbed with as little effort as possible and without desire. The reality of your own nature should determine the speed. If you become restless, speed up. If you become winded, slow down. You climb the mountain in an equilibrium between restlessness and exhaustion. When you are no longer thinking ahead, each footstep is not just a means to an end, but a unique event in itself. This leaf has jagged edges. This rock looks loose. These are the things that we should notice anyway. To live only for some future goal is shallow. It is the sides of the mountain which sustain life, not the top. Here is where things grow. But of course, without the top, you cannot have any sides. It is the top that defines the sides. This is a cautionary note, well worth considering. Might it be that we are so consumed by the desire to climb the mountain, to get to the top, that we miss the meaningful experiences and learnings along the way? When you are no longer thinking ahead, each footstep is not just a means to an end, but a unique event in itself. We are called to be in a place of dynamic equilibrium, to blend our focus on multiple things, to negotiate contrasting demands. It is part of the duality and plurality and uncertainty of nature, that paradox of creation. How do we experience this duality, this paradox of nature? Today is the end of your life as you used to know it. But today is the beginning of your life as it will be. Today is the end of your past. But today is the beginning of your future. As you live and learn, as you seek to satisfy your unmet needs, your unsatisfied desires, as you dream of the mountaintop, be ever conscious of the sides of the mountain. In all of this, who you are matters. How you live and learn matters. Persig reminds us, the reality of your own nature should determine the speed. If you become restless, speed up. If you become winded, slow down. You climb the mountain in an equilibrium between restlessness and exhaustion. Nature confronts us with the dynamic cycles and seasons of life, inviting us to dance to its diverse rhythms. The variations and contrasts are as perplexing as they are real. Water, life-generating, gentle, smooth, soothing, cleansing, thirst-quenching, yet rough, turbulent, treacherous, and life-taking. The wind, the very air that we breathe, gentle, refreshing, calming, and cooling, yet wicked, wild, and destructive. Both of them, in their duality, in their plurality, eroding relentlessly, but building quietly and steadily, in their seasons, in their varying rhythms. I return to a question that I posed earlier. Given that we ought not to let our classes get in the way of our education, how will you envision and approach your education? Allow me to suggest. Take the time to discover your nature. Find your rhythm. Appreciate your cycles. Welcome your seasons. Celebrate your mountaintops. They provide new perspectives, but they are not the end game. See and seek value in your down in the valley experiences. Valleys are not places from which you should seek to escape quickly. In valleys, refreshing streams of water flow. In valleys, there's protection and shelter. In valleys, there are opportunities to reflect and recharge. And most of all, valleys provide us with a view of the mountaintop, the desire, the aspiration, the possibility. So as you head to the top of your next mountain, bear in mind that how you climb a mountain is more important than reaching the top. It is the sides of the mountain which sustain life, not the top. Viktor Frankl, in his book Man's Search for Meaning, wrote the following: success cannot be pursued, it must ensue. And it only does so as the unintended side effect of one's dedication to a cause greater than oneself. The mountaintop is about you, but that is not all. The cause is about others and the society. Rest in your valleys. Take the time to experience the size of the mountain as you climb to the top, and in so doing, discover that cause that is greater than yourself. Thank you all.
We will now pay homage to the 2021 honorees.
Mr. Ferdinand Ferreira, Honorary Doctor of Humane Letters. Mr. Dominic Kalipasad, Honorary Doctor of Letters. Mr. Jones P. Madeira, Honorary Doctor of Letters. Mr. Wendell Motley, Honorary Doctor of Humane Letters.
I now invite Dr. Ferdinand Ferreira to deliver his remarks.
Her Excellency, Mrs. Paula May Weeks, ORTT, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and Chancellor of the UTT. Professor Prakash Prasad, President UTT. Senior academic and corporate staff of UTT. Members of the Students' Guild and other students of UTT. Graduates of 2020 and 2021. Family members and friends, members of the media, members of the viewing public, ladies and gentlemen. Let me first of all express my sincere thanks and appreciation to the UTT for bestowing this prestigious honorary degree on me. Nothing can be more rewarding than the recognition of your service, whatever form it may take, to your fellow men and by extension your country. There cannot and never will be a substitute for the good citizen. Patriotism to one's country is not and should not be a negotiable item. In the words of Nelson Mandela, quote, "The ideals I cherish, our fondest dreams and fervent hopes, may not be realized in our lifetime, but that besides the point. The knowledge that in your day you did your duty and lived up to the expectations of your fellow men is in itself a rewarding experience and a magnificent achievement. What is even more gratifying to me is the fact that the university, even at my advanced age of 89 plus, did not wait to send the honor by the worms. I wish to congratulate my fellow honorees from both the regional and local universities. They too, like myself, have been honorably rewarded for their patriotism and their contribution to their fellow men and the nation. Most of them have already publicly expressed their thanks and appreciation and offered their advice to the graduates, the beneficiaries of this massive investment of taxpayers in their future and by extension that of our nation. I merely wish to remind you, today's graduates, of the words of wisdom from the father of the nation at that pre-independence rally. Quote, Dr. Eric Williams, "To your tender and loving hands, the future of the nation is entrusted. In your innocent hearts, the pride of the nation is enshrined. On your scholastic development, the salvation of the nation is dependent." This was almost 60 years ago, just as valid today as it was yesterday. Our country during this period has had 7 prime ministers, 3 of them coming out of our regional universities. Mr. Patrick Manning, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bissessa, and Dr. Keith Rowley. The other 3, Dr. Eric Williams, Oxford University, Mr. A.N.R. Robinson, Oxford University, and Mr. Basley Opande, an English-trained attorney. We have been very fortunate so far, in spite of whatever negative encounters that might have overtaken us, to elect leaders, whatever their shortcomings, that have not taken us down the calamitous road that has overtaken so many other countries that obtained their independence after the Second World War. We were very fortunate to have a caliber of public servants, professionals, and otherwise man our institutions during the most critical period of nation building, the transitional period from colonialism to independence, most of them products of the colonial system. It is against this background that the young and not so young graduates must assess and evaluate their future role in the society. That again, in the words of the Father of the Nation, on your scholastic development, the salvation of the nation is dependent. Will you betray this trust and confidence that the nation has invested in you? You have been given excellent advice by past and present honorees, like myself, on your mission to success. You have been warned, a degree is not an automatic passport for a job, but rather a door to that largely unraveled world of knowledge. You have been informed and advised of the resourcefulness and perseverance of the great innovators and inventors of modern industrialization, their magnificent discoveries and achievements in science and technology, from Orville Wright and Henry Ford to Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, and Mark Zuckerberg. You have been advised by honorees from both the regional and local universities of the absolute necessity for your abiding commitment. Whatever discipline of your choice, your prime responsibility is service to your fellow men and patriotism to your country. What new can an honoree, a graduate from Oxford University, now being transformed from doctor to honorary doctor? What can I tell you? As you proceed on your separate missions, to play your part in a world in which almost everything is moving towards the fourth and fifth revolution, a world in which mankind is so obsessed with wealth and materialism, they have almost forgotten who was responsible for the enormous, unprecedented success, the freedoms, the liberties, prosperities we enjoy today. The great liberators have now been sacrificed on the altar of vulgar accumulative wealth, materialism, science, and technology. The ones who took us out of bondage, slavery, and indentureship, who over the last 3 or 4 decades brought over 1 billion people out of poverty and squalor into a standard of living that we never thought was possible. From the Reformation and the Renaissance, right up to the current leaders of the Asian tiger, Africa, and the Latin American liberators. Just remember these revolutionaries, even the tyrants and dictators. It was the vision and mission of these visionaries, politicians, statesmen, and freedom fighters. Whatever their political philosophy, it is to them more than anyone else that we owe that eternal debt of gratitude. That should be the guiding factor, the compass that directs us along life's unpredictable journey, never forgetting that in spite of man's inhumanity to man, man is still man's best friend. And this brings me to the current role of our universities, both regional and local. As I respectfully ask, are they filling the role in spite of their current ratings, of producing and delivering the quality of political and public leadership? The standards of morality, integrity, and productivity required by us. As a small nation, very resourceful nation, to meet the demanding standards of our competitors, to earn the respect and admiration of a ruthless, competitive, unforgiving world that do not suffer fools gladly. Are we satisfied with the standards of behavior, integrity, and productive capacity of our leaders and our public servants, who comprise generally graduates from our regional and local institutes of higher learning? Recent comments coming from Archbishop Jason Gordon reap bribery and corruption at almost every level of society must be a source of concern to our universities, to our young graduates, who again, the salvation of the nation depends. Singapore's progress, its verve, its vitality is assured because the administrative machine works. There is no grit. You don't have to grease somebody's to crank up the machine. We must keep it that way. This is today's challenge of all our institutions of higher learning, inclusive of the UTT. If in fact something is wrong, it is your responsibility to get it right. As I proceed to my final destiny, where my voice will be forever silent, and my pen shall no longer be my sword of expression. As the Honorary Dean of Oxford, all I can ask you, my fellow citizens, in the words of the mighty Stalin, quote, stand up for something or you will die for nothing. Yours is the responsibility today, as was mine yesterday, to follow in the philosophical words of Nelson Mandela. Follow the ideals you choose. Your fondest dreams and fervent hopes may not be realized in your lifetime, but the knowledge that in your day you did your duty and lived up to the expectations of your fellow men is a rewarding experience and a magnificent achievement. In conclusion, I've given 70 odd years of my life in the service of my country, expecting neither award or reward. I'm, however, sincerely gratified by your overwhelming generosity in converting a doctor into an honorary Doctor of Letters. Thank you, and may God continue to bestow his bountiful blessings on the university and all those responsible for ensuring the success of all our learning institutions. After all, like Eton and Harrow, Oxford and Cambridge, that produced and delivered the leaders of the most powerful empire in the history of the world, your responsibility is not to build empire leaders, but to mold the character, the morality and integrity of our next generation of leaders, so that in the words of the scripture, posterity will echo with pride and joy, how great thou art. Thank you very much.
We now present the graduands receiving certificates, diplomas, and degrees.
Chancellor, I ask you to admit these candidates from these academic programs haven't fulfilled the requirements of the university to the certificate, diploma, and undergraduate degrees for which they are presented.
Graduates of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, by the authority vested in me, I admit you to the certificate, diploma, undergraduate degrees for which you are to be presented and receive you as members of our society.
Class of 2020, Certificate in Applied Maritime Operations. Christopher Borneo. Jovan Rooney Nicholas. Lorraine Kalima Oliver. Dwayne John Pear. Stefan Jonathan Rajkumar. Class of 2021, Certificate in Applied Maritime Operations. Christopher Bridge Mohan. Ishmael Isaiah Chubb. Keelan Lewis. Kylan Lewis. Rehan Mark Peters. Errol Dominique Reed. Dion Andrew Simmons. Peter Lester Thomas. Class of 2020, Certificate in Indian Classical Music. Sangeet Prathama. Sita Bola. Rajesh Budu. Selwyn Churaman. Nzinga S. Job. Rohani Ramadan. Sabrina Christie Ramlakan. Class of 2021, Certificate in Music Technology. Satish Ramroop. Class of 2020, Certificate in Security and Public Safety. Ashley Paula Budan. Nigel Narvin Harpole. Alex Brandel Hewitt. Otis O'Neill Lawrence. Darren Sunarine, Chelsea Renuka Thomas, Candice Karen Yorkshire. Class of 2021, Certificate in Security and Public Safety. Sadiqa Ali, Kelly Charles, Anicia Kimberly DeMatus, Khadija Kissa Elias, Lushanta Akila Goodrich, Katie Daniela Hamlet, Celine Lochan, Keston Wendell Moses, Aliyah Naipaul, Christian Sado Ramkalawan, Sean Anil Sahadeo, Sean Romain Sebro, Shalini Tarasing, Kiora Chelsea Timothy, Aliyah Crystal Tobias. Class of 2020, Certificate in Sport Studies. David Jediah Aberdeen, Evander Joseph Alexis, Arika Jeremy Benjamin, Marvin Josiah Bernard, Jason J. Biku, Shaquille Tyrese Bishop, Zion Malik Bishop, Kyle Fawaz Bridgelal, Justin Lucky Bridgemohan, Kayla Shakir Celestin, Dejon Khalil Charles, Tristan Kaelan Clement, Candice Kadisha Eli, Rondell Shane Eugene, Chelsea Calicia Fong, Talia J. Fort, Ronaldo Antonio Funelier, Metisha Tamara Hamid, Alexi Jesse Haripasad, Elan Adriana Jack, Patrice Sade James, Alejandro Darren John, Jamila Torrejas Jones, Keanu Henry King, Taj Akiu La Fortune, Natania Angel LaRode, Sinel Tekia Lane, Dana Marie Eileen Leotard, Andrew Paul Reese Lezama, Mika P. Molino, Jamil Christian Narain, Jarian Nkosi Osuna, Deandra Janie Paul, Verenda Ramlal Ramdeen, Jelani Adissa Raymond, Meki Atherson Robinson, Shaniqua Naomi Rogers, Renee Anissa Rupnarain, Kashim Samuel Sicharan, Kevin Sunarain, Crystal Sukdeo, Renuka Sukdeo, Kadisha E. Subero, Joshua Josiah Walker, Jonathan Jeremy Ward, Veeran Jelaine Watson, Dehiran Dominic Wilkinson, Class of 2021 Certificate in Sport Studies, Kyla Carissa Alexander, Gabrielle Sophia Alexis, Alicia Belinda Alfred, Jewel Shanice August, Darlene Akina Batiste, Lyndall Kafele Batiste, Jael Kyla Beckles, Denicia Daniela Bernard, Shania Tanisha Blackman, DeTori Torre Andre Boucher, Aaliyah Brandy Carrington, Kayleen E. Caton, Allegra Celine Decoto, Brandon David Deokaran, Denicia Frederick Charles, Shanoa M. Gibbs, Zachary Christoph Gonzalez, Vladimir Zion Griffith, Amir Harry, Nardina Hasima Holt, Christian Jaiseri, Adalia Joanna John, Aaron Marvin Joseph, Priya Nalini Kunga Bihari, Jaden Lynch, Jesse Sadiq Mano, Ashish Brandon Miraj, Shamaya S. Martin, Shamar Kenny Mondi, Chazelle Macrina Miller, Nikolai Joshua Mills, Shaliza S. Muhammad, Shania Choyan Morgan, Nicholas Morgan Murray, Elena Andy Niels, Kavon Caleb Paul, Nicolette Jasmine Pereira, Ronilsta Ernesto Pereira, Tishon Darius Ragu, Rochelle Renee Rollins, Josiah Isaiah Reside, Timothy Sebastian Ruiz, Kezia Chelsea Seeley Liverpool, Rishi Ravi Sipasad, Daniel Leah Smith, Moses Smith, Warren T. Telesford, Fikile Ayu Thompson, Gerald Aaron Wallace, Kayana Christina Warner, Dakir Jaleel Williams, Keston Brandon Williams. Class of 2020 Artist Diploma in Music Performance, Dean Trevor Ashby, Michelle Anna Asing, Ria Camille Francis, Tricelle Kelsey Frederick, Mark Haru, Christiana Suzanne Lemesey, Corey K. Mendez, Darrell Joshua Phillip, Patrice Terrian Raghunath Charles, Nikolai Nathan Singh. Class of 2020, Diploma in Animation Studies, Joel O. De Matos, Faith Erin Henry, Joshua Kyle Martinez, Zephron Paul Pathron, Josiah Samuel Sullivan, Ia Mishan Woodley,
Class of 2020, Professional Officer of the Watch Certificate, DEC, Janelle Nadine Joseph. Professional Officer of the Watch Certificate, Engineering, Tevin John Francis. Class of 2020, Diploma in Fashion Design, Kathy Belcon, Beverly Maribing Hooker, Lisette Patricia Shepard Coffey. Class of 2021, Diploma in Fashion Design, Megan Shauna Bartholomew, Melissa Juzana Casano, Ezra Anya Defu, Sharice Nakifa Figaro, Malika Zakaya Fleming, Antonia Alexi Prieto, Tonian Adana Prince, Ryan Joycelyn Raymond, Omalara Adana Samuel, Brandy Colette Shade. Class of 2020, Diploma in Maritime Operations Engineering, Nasir Junad Ali, Eduardo Thomas Atkinson, Jonathan Brian Bowler, Kyle O'Neill Bisram, Christian Khalil Charles, Johan Kingston Clark, Shaquille Philip Davis, Ryan Desmond De Freitas, Jarrell Matthias Harper, Stacy Raquel Hazel, Nicholas Karim Hussain, Kairos Joshua Joseph, Brandis Shivnarine Jugul, Cray Ruben Kennedy, David Amarali Kisoon, Tristan Colin Leach, Haley Albert Mark, Leaf Joshua Mohammed, David Obasi Phillips, Johann Christian Ramsing, Joshua Jonathan Sampson, Anderson Anthony Sicharan, Daniel David Smith, Class of 2021, Diploma in Maritime Operations Engineering, Selena Sarah Dubari. Emilio Jesse Maharaj. Adonia Zaria Salina. Class of 2020, Diploma in Maritime Operations Navigation, George John Champs. Chris Diolal. Vui Ishmael Furman. Dylan William Gooding. Haig Ishan Harilal. Nicholas Andre Hospitalis. Justin Keegan Cantor Posad. Kivon Kemuel Luknanan. Erin Kristen Maharaj. Sherwin Saul Marshall Campbell. Miguel Charles Mendoza. Anthony Niranjan. Jonathan Ryan Rugbir. Romeo Makano Rambaran. Jared Claude Ramnarain. Celicia Angel Ramsaran. Class of 2021, Diploma in Maritime Operations Navigation, Chelsea Marie Beno. Rajala McKinney Borrell. Narendra Kyle Sharan. Jesse Paul De Freitas. Romancio Xavier Frederick. Shea Angus Gonzalez. Alex Sidney Kelman. Nicholas T. McLeish. Aaron Daniel Mohammed. Fareed Mohammed. Andrew Carl Valdez. Class of 2020, Diploma in Security and Public Safety, Darren James Abraham. Romeo Andrew Alexis. Jehoshaphat Atwell. Lyndon Joshua Balkaran. Nisha Boodoo. Akil Mikel Boyce. Ezra Keron Charles. Katharina Sherian Charles. Adrian Jared Connell. Ariel Nika Constantine. Darian Chaitram Dan. Marcus Wayne Graham. Kadisha Julianne Hankey. Vanita Deepa Harinarayan Harinanan. Gregory Haynes. Chantal Risa Henry. Tandia Penda Jack. Tahira Pfizer O'Connor. Dave Taiwu Sandiford. Rhea Elizabeth Taylor. Swanee Richard Taylor. Chiron Tulram. Kathian Joanna Wright. Class of 2021, Diploma in Security and Public Safety, JC Kyra Badeau. Adalia Dionce Kojo. Nigel Narvin Harpole, Matthias Herbert, Viliana S. Kadaru, Sophia Sumait Raghubar, Sesha Ashlyn Romani, Samuel Levi Waldron.
Class of 2020, Bachelor of Fine Arts in the Performing Arts. Lyndon Curtis Bonnet Jr., Andrew Kinley Enil, Tahira Sadaya Luke, Lizanne T. Regis. Class of 2021, Bachelor of Fine Arts in the Performing Arts. Ryan Timothy Dangleben, Joseph Arnaldo Herry, Joshua David Samuelson, Christopher Anthony Shepard. Class of 2020, Bachelor of Fine Arts in the Performing Arts with specialization in acting. Shadi Celeste Edwards, Shania Dominique Mark, Tanisha E. Richards Weeks. Class of 2021, Bachelor of Fine Arts in the Performing Arts with specialization in acting. Kanessa Kyra Alexander, Fidel Adam Boxell, Antonile Tia Hamilton, Fab Pantaleon Wilson. Of 2020, Bachelor of Fine Arts in the Performing Arts with specialization in dance. Carissa Shania Fleming, Delan Jamal Lyons, Matthew Ainsley McLean, Christy Anne-Marie Millian, Sarah Rebecca Pilgrim Belanger, Akimo Randy Sandy, Annalise Naomi C. Paul. Class of 2021, Bachelor of Fine Arts in the Performing Arts with specialization in dance. Trishelle LeSean Augustine, Anicia Shea Batiste, Olubusola Oluyemisi Chung, Tamia Marie Jones, Faith Sarah Kadu, Chelsea Marie Gabrielle Narain, Zidane Valmiki Rupnarain, Jamal Walker. Class of 2020, Bachelor of Fine Arts in the Performing Arts with specialization in music. Christian D. Balbosa, Ishmael Ivan Camejo, Kadesh Jonathan Clouden, Lemuel A. Davis, Jarana Anicia Douglas, Marina Stephanie Gaia, Hakeem Jelani Goodridge, Ariel P. James, Nikayla Shania James, Nicholas Colin Joseph, Mistian Aisha Knights, Destiny Jessica Lemesey, Christopher Matthew Neal, Quinton Jade Neckles, Lemuel Patterson, Danique S. Robertson, Carver C. Tam St. Bernard, Kiana Aliyah Tinto, Janelle Chantal Xavier. Class of 2021, Bachelor of Fine Arts in the Performing Arts with specialization in music. Shannon Melinia Anu, Joshua Jabari Bedu, Jalen Tyrese Charles, Zakia Dekoto, Karen Daniel Peter Ferreira, Eli Fuller, Mikael Mouba Gabriel, Denilson Damani Gulston, Aliyah Shanakwa Huggins, Aaron Kareem Joseph, Michael Max Niels, Anthony Trent O'Connor, Terrell Curlan Phillips, Ariel Tishon Peer, O.J. Richards, Matthew Michael Sami, Antonia Chesalona Thomas, Nicholas Javon Thomas, Sachelle Ryan Thomas, Kezia Anna Magdalene Williams. Class of 2020 Bachelor of Fine Arts in the Performing Arts with specialization in theater design and production. Toure Che Batiste, Kino Maurice Dick Alvarez, Alroy Adrian Harry, Menelik Emmanuel McKay, Kerwin Xavier. Class of 2021 Bachelor of Fine Arts in the Performing Arts with specialization in theater design and production. Akina Vasia Jones,
Class of 2020, Bachelor in Sports Studies with specialization in exercise science. Shane Chris Burnett, Suzette Marie Callender, Jason J. Kalist, Khadija Karima George, Faith Angel Abigail Hagley, Dylan Michael Hannes, Christian King, Will Ferris Lee, Keanu Antonio Leong, Darion Stanley Modest, Tyreek DeAndre Nicholas, Daniel A. Noel, Keron Ryan Ramkisoon, Deval Ramlochan, Akeem Alista Wills. Class of 2021 Bachelor in Sports Studies with specialization in exercise science. Jerome Laron Campbell, Angel Faith George, Nicholas Rai Gosain, Kosi David Jones, Dana Nishon Moore, Vishnu Cody Rama Jr., Tracy Naomi Smith. Class of 2021 Bachelor in Sports Studies with specializations in Sport for Development and Sport Management, Christopher Andrew Richards. Class of 2020, Bachelor in Sports Studies with specialization in Sport Management, Josiah Jordan Berkeley. Davy Pinky Boudram. Moisha Naftalia Griffith. Joel Savior Johnson. Randy Adrian Mahes. Leandre Charles Piper. Samuel Jonathan Reed. Chantel Anisha Solomon. Class of 2020, Bachelor in Sports Studies with specialization in Sport for Development and Exercise Science, Tishelle Micah Williams. Class of 2021, Bachelor in Sports Studies with specializations in Sport for Development and Exercise Science, Akani N. St. Philip. Class of 2020, Bachelor in Sports Studies with specialization in Sport Management and Exercise Science, Gabrielle Amari Cox. Class of 2021, Bachelor in Sports Studies with specialization in Sport Management and Exercise Science, Tyler Jamie Cornell. Class of 2020, Bachelor in Sports Studies with specialization in Sport Management and Sport for Development, Stacey-Ann Camilan King. Class of 2021, Bachelor in Sports Studies with specializations in Sport Management and Sport Pedagogy, Nikhil Ranjiv Nagu. Akila Tashura Romain Bazi. Class of 2021, Bachelor in Sports Studies with specialization in Sport Pedagogy, Sean Richard Russell. Class of 2020, Bachelor in Sports Studies with specialization in Sport Pedagogy and Exercise Science, Kevon Kenny Ali. Jaron A. Gill. Rena Gori Harilal. Tristan Isaiah Jackman. Christine Kadisha Raim. Leah Tamara Taiwan. Anthony Josiah Williams. DK NJ Wilson. Brandon Dante Zamor. Class of 2020, Bachelor in Sports Studies with specializations in Sport Pedagogy and Sport for Development, Christopher Gerard Thorpe. Class of 2021, Bachelor in Sports Studies with specializations in Sport Pedagogy and Sport for Development, Veena Anandi. Class of 2020, Bachelor in Sports Studies with specializations in Sport Pedagogy and Sport Management, Emmanuel Daniel Davis. Kylissa Leah Lynch.
Class of 2020, Bachelor of Science in Coast and Ocean Science, Kamaria Sibongali Asantiwa. Brandon Kurt Edwards. Jerice Gajadar Singh. Chevelle Adriana Gollop. Elaine Lloyd Johnson. Alyssa Janique Johnson. Elijah Lewis. Justin Joel Sui. Roger Javon Wilson. Shiel Melissa Williams. Class of 2020, Bachelor of Science in Coast and Ocean Science with specialization in Fisheries Aquaculture.
Class of 2020, Bachelor of Applied Science in Criminology and Public Safety, Brandon Lee Ali. Trevelon Keves Baptiste. Jewel Naomi Barath. Cherokee Geronimo Bola. Jabal Ajayi Brathwaite. Keon Kariba Klein. Kalisha Tasha Duncan. Sharika Forbes. Geeta Haripasad. Lindsay Henry. Hanifa Munifa Labi. Daniel Christopher Marshall. Joanna Anita Mungal Julian. Catherine Petra Norrie. Takesha Bridget Sandiford. Chanel Sugrim. Class of 2021, Bachelor of Applied Science in Criminology and Public Safety. Tariq Mikkel Orbin. Kurt S. Callender. Keslon Avion Clark. Makeda Shaniqua Cross. McKinney Brandon Denoon. Kavita Daniram. Somali Noel George. Adisa Hudson. Marlon Jack. Adam Zachary Jackson. Melissa Lakshmi Lalchan. Nicholas K. Lajar. Makeda Leanne Machuri. Sintra Marianne O'Brien. Celine Shanice Pegas. Lisa Varuna Ramsamir Joseph. Keon Wayne Raymond. Gabriella Hannah Robinson. Stacy Seville. Janelle Nanda Sinclair. Brian Julian Wilshire. Shinraye Kanisha Wright. Class of 2020, Bachelor of Science in Nautical Science, Maritime Operations. Adana Chelsea Bonus. Richard Neil Codigan. Jeremy Isaac Cyrus. Joel Mark Davis. Violet Philippa George. Javan Luther Gordon. Dravid Amir Hussain. Hakeem Kadima Jack. Berold Chevron Jofield. Aaron John. Nicholas Sam Munsami. Macasey Joshua Perkins. April Kimberly Peters. Francisca Sheila Reese. Class of 2021, Bachelor of Science in Nautical Science, Maritime Operations. Kemuel Vishnu Archiba. Kiev Camille Ali. Keron Timothy Castillo. Jamal Dow. Shaquille Peters. Darius Rambaran. Leah Marie Ramcharan. Jamai Everton Welch. Class of 2020, Bachelor of Finance in Fashion Design. Janelle Bernadette Briggs. Michaela Caitlin Corby. Rachel Davies Lushu. Khadidra Christy Denoon. Keisha Tonisia Edwards. Antoinette Eunice James Sebrew. Yelena Jan Lutchman. Shannon Chelsea MacDonald. Shanae Kyla McIntyre. Chelsea Mary Pereira. Hannah D. Timothy. Mackay Alexia Weeks. Class of 2021, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fashion Design. Kellyanne Jody Crichton. Janelle Abigail Green. Chelsea Tashia Noel Thomas. Dorian Lee Obermuller. Jacinta Rivas. Jemima Michelle Serrano. Anike Tamika Taylor. Class of 2020, Bachelor of Applied Science in Manufacturing and Design Engineering. Fad Issa Abraham. Adrian T. Ali. Nalini Bechan. Stefan Joshua Bagan. Enoch Peter Boudram. Colin Hayden Buchan. Ade Taliza Charles. Vignesh Dial. Crystal Daniela Edwards. Romero Ricardo Edwards. Azel Gopal. Christopher Hans Hiru. Kioma Jagrup. Vishal June. Samuel Michael Jones. Narisha Jagmohan. Nikita Elizabeth Kaitan. Varun Katwaru. Alim Jonathan Khan. John Graham A. Kidney. Hayden Anthony Loa. Ravi Taradath Mahabir. Elias Micah Mitchell. Iyaz Mohammed. Nakis Johan Noel. Gerard Daniel O'Brien. Marcus Theodore Ramjit Singh. Neil Ramnial. Jamak Jesus Rampasad. Brittany Sabrina Ramsey. Jesse David Ramsubad. Junior Richard Ramtahal, Dividyal K. Sharma, Tejan Don Sabero, Vijay Timal, Marvin Thomas, Norris Kimo Waldron, Class of 2021, Bachelor of Applied Science in Manufacturing and Design Engineering, Deron Kade Alexis, Christoph Dwight Ayers, Mariah Lisa Bassoon, Kimlan Chin, Riyad Azza Hakim, Christopher Michael Harrison, Christopher Anthony John, Charlene Sasha Ramrup, Priscilla Ramsing, Nicola Deborah Sanchez, Christian Mark Sonny, Devendra Jagesh Tulsi.
As we continue, I'm pleased to introduce the next segment. It's a performance by students of the Academy for the Performing Arts. The Pan Ensemble Fusion will present to you High Mass by David Rudder. the university experience, students participate in various activities for self-development, expanding their knowledge or supporting university events. Upon graduating, students can voluntarily contribute to the university's network to promote interaction, encourage education, research, and commercialization of innovative ideas, and also to mentor undergraduate students through co-op training or similar work-related experiences. So now I invite all our graduates to join in the reciting of the Alumni Pledge.
As alumni of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, we solemnly swear to uphold the honorable traditions of our university. Imbued by the spirit of innovation and entrepreneurship, which are at the center of UTT's mission, we will endeavor to lend creativity and passion to all that we undertake. As graduates of the National University, we also commit ourselves to the highest standards of service to our community and country. We will further strive to earn our own place among UTT's alumni who, by their devotion to these ideals, have brought recognition and honor to our alma mater. We will provide moral, intellectual, and financial support and will encourage others to attend our alma mater and thus contribute to the perpetuation of the necessary and noble work of UTT.
We encourage all our students to join UTT's Alumni Association by going to the website www.u.tt/alumni. The ceremony is almost over, but before we bid you adieu, I call upon valedictorian Ms. Chelsea Marie Benoit, Diploma in Maritime Operations with specialization in navigation, to deliver the valedictory address.
Her Excellency, Miss Paula May Weeks, ORTT, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and Chancellor of UTT. Professor Prakash Prasad, President, UTT. Senior academic and corporate staff of UTT. Members of the Student Guild and other students of UTT. Graduates of 2020 and 2021. Family members and friends, members of the media, members of the viewing public, ladies and gentlemen. If you are tuned into this live, drop some flames in the chat. Hello, my fellow graduates. As my favorite artist would say, the energy is amazing. Can you believe that today you are sitting behind your screens in an area, hopefully with a great connection, celebrating your inestimable achievements? Today, I am tremendously humbled and honored to be your 2021 valedictorian. As I begin, let me say a hearty congratulations to the classes of 2020 and 2021. We have come a long way, and because of that, please take a short second to give yourself a pat on the back. Today, I am not here as a model student, but as the embodiment of what it is to be UTT. Just like you, I have cried, threatened countless times to drop out, been despondent, and wondered if it would be worth it in the end. Clearly it was, because I stand before you at this moment. I have also celebrated, accomplished, persisted, and worked hard to achieve my end goal, not only to graduate, but to be a successful adult. The time at UTT allowed some of us to develop leadership in various positions. Personally, I have held a few of these positions and participated in community outreach, achieving academic excellence, which would not have been possible without self-discipline, diligence, drive, and the grace of God. Just as the setting is not ideal today, we are not perfect, but we have worked diligently to achieve success, and that is all we need. Bittersweet is probably a word we can use to describe this moment as we reminisce on the good times we've had during our course of study. No, I am not referring to the countless times you would have won all fours or tried to cheat, but the moments when we plotted with our colleagues to ask for a deadline extension or stayed back late to put together a PowerPoint presentation due the next day. I personally have a back injury due to my intense passion for tug of war during freshman games after being dragged across the San Fernando campus. What about the times when we've cried after an exam, thinking we have failed, or pulling out pieces of our hair after working with inefficient group members? Yes, you can say those bad words in your mind now. Nonetheless, these are all the memories that contribute to the love we have and will forever hold in our hearts for the University of Trinidad and Tobago. And if you believe that there's another institution that puts holistic development at the forefront of your education, then you must be deranged. I wish I could be wearing a Sharks jersey today because we lead and others follow. But it would be remiss of me not to say that campus feuding is real. Though my loyalties may lie with the Sharks, I am always proud to hear, and if you're here right now, let me see you represent the Raging Bulls, the Lions, Phoenixes, Thrillers, the Corinthians, Wolves, Giants, Eagles, and Knights. Battle to be the best campus, but we know we wouldn't be as great as we are without each other. A symbiotic relationship, I'd like to call it. Dear lecturers, we are sorry from the bottom of our hearts for the stresses we may have caused you, but we also want to thank you for staying devoted to our purpose, especially those at the Center for Maritime and Ocean Studies who would have experienced my annoying ability to constantly second-guess myself and cry each time I thought I could not do my absolute best. It has paid off. Additionally, let us not forget that we all would have experienced a shift that we definitely did not see coming: the COVID-19 pandemic. As unprecedented as it was, there's a lesson I believe we should all understand. The next chapter of our lives should be a complete metamorphosis. We are the students that overcame the transposition in the world during the most crucial time of our programs. From living on Zoom, power outages, and frustrated lecturers to extra online quizzes and eye fatigue. We also had to commit to being focused on our goal. Temptations from the highly interesting Instagram lives had us thinking, well, I want a pool in my room, or saying, giddy up, don't stop during exams. And don't forget clearing your Tuesdays to watch Vibes with Voicey like it's no one's business, while our assignments stared at us from a minimized tab. Don't be embarrassed. I was there too. But it was not distracting enough to keep us from remaining disciplined. At least we blossomed, unlike those susu schemes. All of this to say that it is only fitting that we cross this threshold into the new era of our lives with a transformed attitude, character, determination, and the desire to soar through calamity. Like caterpillars, there were times when we thought the world was over, but we pushed through the cocoon and became butterflies. In this season of transformation, commit to undergoing a full metamorphosis by taking all the lessons you have learned, the memories, failures, and adversity, and use it to become the new you, the certified, degreed, mastered you, because as graduates, we have transfigured. We have navigated through so much as students, but completed our voyages successfully. And if anyone can talk our navigation, it's me. Mahatma Gandhi once said that you have to be the change that you wish to see in this world. As we go forward, I challenge myself and all graduates to use everything we have learned to transform our industries and national community. For me, it is my aspiration to be the best captain hailing from Trinidad and Tobago and by extension the Caribbean, augment the sea bridge, ameliorate the hardships of our seafarers, and skyrocket our maritime sector. However, I cannot do this without transforming the criteria and breaking boundaries as I did today as your valedictorian. To the Institute of Criminology and Public Safety, you must be very elated that there's already a vacancy. Congratulations to the future Commissioner of Police, who I know will one day come from UTT. To the doctors, teachers, engineers, performers, animators, farmers, and designers, I know that this is just the beginning of your journey. Make it your own. Let me inform you, my fellow graduates and students, that it is your duty to bolster the national community as we are the product of a well-curated education system. We are the breath of fresh air that the country has been waiting for. We are poised to give back and contribute to the sustainability of our economy. Food technology graduates, I know that you are present and well represented. It is on you to aid in the co-production of sustainable food systems. My manufacturing graduates, the country needs your help with diversification as we can no longer rely heavily on an oil and gas sector. In the words of the father of the nation, the late Dr. Eric Williams, the future of this nation is in the school bags of the children. I want to take this further. We are the future, and we have what it takes to change this nation in our hands. Our degrees, our diplomas, our certificates must work for the continuous development of Trinidad and Tobago. As a community, we now have to pay forward our successes through service. Societal advancements can only be made through our application as work-ready graduates, innovators, and critical thinkers. We are noble brand ambassadors of UTT, and it is our responsibility to represent proudly and not discredit our beloved institution. We must defend UTT's name with our professional, ethical, and excellent work in our relevant industry, and always encourage others to enroll in the programs offered, thereby equipping them with world-recognized qualifications. As I conclude, this is the beginning of our evolution. We have all sacrificed, but if nothing, these years we have spent focusing can only warrant a celebration of rebirth. Grow through your metamorphosis. If nothing ever changed, there would be no butterflies. It is my hope that after listening to this message, you stand up tall and accept transposition, constitute shift, and be the most powerful force for change on this planet. I am confident enough that you will remember everything you have learned and apply it to your life, including your national watchwords. Hopefully. Okay, I'll come down from there. Thank you for granting me the opportunity to be your valedictorian. I am sure we would like to thank our families and support systems, our fellow classmates, including the ones that did not contribute to group assignments, our dedicated lecturers, administrative, and support staff. Many of us began at different points. Some have fallen along the wayside. Some are no longer here with us. We remember them and wish their souls continued rest. It is not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, said the Lord. Today, we are leaving with bonds that would last a lifetime. Dear graduating classes of 2020 and 2021, no matter what part of the world we may go, wave the flag of UTT high. I leave you with this quote from author Janet S. Dickens. The wings of transformation are born through patience and struggle. Congratulations.
Congratulations to all of our honorees and all of our graduates. I now call upon the Chancellor to declare the ceremony closed.
I wish to sincerely congratulate the newly graduated members of our society on their achievement, and I now declare this ceremony closed.
We've come to the end of today's proceedings. So, on behalf of the Chairman of the Board of Governors of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, Professor Clement Imber, the President, Professor Prakash Prasad, the faculty and staff of the university, we wish to congratulate all of our honorees and all of our newly minted graduates. Congratulations, and we wish you well. Thank you.